Metal is the backbone of sustainable construction, and today we are joined in by Mr. Arvind Ganga, the Managing Director, and Mr. Gautam Suri, the Full-Time Director at the Interarch Building Products. Thank you for joining in, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have you
us here.
Thank you very much.
And it's been a beautiful journey and a beautiful landmark.
Yes,
congratulations.
It has been a journey. Thank you very much.
So you've been the market leader. So talk to us about your journey.
Well, Arvind and I went to college in the 1960s. I passed out of IIT in 1974 and he passed out of Shri Ram College in the same decade. And we became friends in college.
Sure.
So we started from there. I never did a job. I first set up an acoustical practice. I practiced as a consultant for almost 35 years. Arvind did his chartered accountants in London. We came back and we both we were good friends and we had a zest to do something. I had a plot of land in Noida and we wanted to get into manufacturing. So we first started off making false ceilings because I was the acoustic consultant for the original Indira Gandhi International Airport and the architect wanted a world-class ceiling. So we got a collaboration and a licensee of a Dutch company, started making false ceilings. And then we got into roofing because we got another opportunity to do a world-class roofing system for a project in Maldives. Then in the late 90s, we decided to get into buildings. So we started pre-engineered buildings. No collaboration, our own development. So on all these three products were first time in India. We brought in a pioneering effort, brand building, business development, creating a market, skilling people, developing the systems, which made our company a market leader in metal buildings in the 2000s. Then we got the IGI Airport Terminal T3 order, which was a big order for us at that time. And from there we've grown into a company doing most complex of projects. We started with simple ceilings, but today we are a company doing most complex of projects, massive industrial buildings, warehouses, power plants, infrastructure, and we have set up a great team and a great engineering setup to design the most complex structures to the best in the country.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Arvind, give us some details of the IPO.
Well, we are going in for IPO now. The total primary issue is 200 crores, which we are going to use first for our new plant we are setting up in Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
For the phase 2, we are going to use about 55 crores of these funds as an object. Another 55 crore goes into the working capital because as we increase our turnover and we being a debt-free company and we like remaining debt-free. So 55 crores going into working capital for all our sales and orders. Then we have about 10 crores. We are upgrading our IT because we believe that technology is the backbone of any company in the future, present also, but going up in the future, I think technology will play a bigger and bigger role in improving productivity of people, in improving your service levels to the customer, etc. So we are upgrading our SAP system. And another 20 crores is going into our existing plants, upgrading their, some machines. So these are slightly older plants to improve production and productivity in those plants. And the balance is the general pool and some expenses which will go into that. That is the idea of the 200 crores. About 400 crores is OFS at these share valuations, which primarily about half of it is Everstone has been a part of our company as an investor for many years, so they are completely exiting, and the other half is some OFS both part promoters are doing.
Sure.
So that is our IPO money raise.
Super. So, Mr. Gautam, please talk to us about what makes metal so special.
Well, it's not metal alone; it is steel buildings.
Right.
We specialize in steel buildings.
Yes.
These are custom designed, custom manufactured buildings made in the plant and supplied shipped to site in knockdown condition for a bolt-on assembly like a mechano set.
Sure.
With today's challenges of water, pollution, dust, this is very clean construction. We use a minimum amount of skilled laborers, erectors, so to speak, to put up the building. There's no dust involved. There's no use of water involved. So there's minimum disruption to the environment. In fact, these days with the construction ban in NCR in the bad months, our kind of building is the only building which is allowed to be constructed in that period of time. Steel buildings also qualify for green buildings because it's 100% recyclable material.
Absolutely.
And the materials we use promote green building usage, minimize solar radiation, reduce heat gain. So they are clean green buildings, so to speak. So we strongly believe and promote sustainable construction in our industry.
So I would keen to know what was the impact during pandemic and what strategy did you adopt to make
During
the
the
company?
during the pandemic, well, for 2-3 months we were hit because the workers could not be collected at site. Our plants worked, except for 2 months shutdown. Our plants worked, but the sites were affected because the workers had a problem coming there. Transportation was a problem, getting them there. But then it opened up. So, on the whole, business was impacted more due to the restrictions of people travel and gathering than anything else.
So, give us the details that post IPO, what will be the shareholding of the promoters?
Before I give that, I just want to add one more thing to sustainability.
Sure.
To steel building, technically, they are also movable because all the nut and bolt assembly.
Yes.
So technically, we can move a building so it doesn't go into scrap.
Okay.
And even if it goes into scrap, the steel is a recyclable material. Unlike any other, if you use cement, concrete,
Right.
it's they'll create a lot of dust and malba, and where do you put it? But steel buildings are 100% recyclable. So that's a big part of sustainability.
Okay.
And so your now question was that?
Post the IPO, what will be the shareholding?
So promoters will still hold over 60%
Okay.
of the company and balance 40%. Now the Everstone is going out, so balance 40% or so will be hopefully our new investors and new friends.
Okay, all right. So, what kind of innovation you do, and you have some R&D labs or something?
We innovating on new and more efficient ways of engineering and
Okay.
construction.
All right.
And steel design is pretty preset in many ways, but we keep adding new ways of doing it, new products for external finishes, and that is the primary innovation. Now, our other innovation from our broader thinking is to diversify into larger infrastructure, tall buildings, and that's something in the future. That's a company plans in the future going forward.
In our case, innovation is basically being able to do different kind of buildings. Let's say recently new age buildings like semiconductor assembly plants, solar manufacturing plants, data centers. So these are very new kind of buildings. So our innovation all relies on how do you make our pre-engineered steel usable for all these buildings. Like for airports, it was a big change. So a lot of our R&D and innovation, because we have to be able to engineer, design, manufacture, and erect that building.
Right from the design stage.
So we are very much, sometimes we can treat ourselves like a car industry.
Okay.
Innovation is how do you make a new model, how do you make it go faster, what do people want, and you try to cater to their demand. So steel building innovation is not something completely different, but how how is it possible to make a hotel like this in steel?
Right.
How is it possible to make a hostel or a hospital or schools? That is our innovation.
So, can you share some global trends?
Yeah, globally in India we have done a lot. We have done a lot of schools for the Delhi government in Delhi. We have done schools and colleges, especially the dorms and the specialized building for Thapar Institute. We have done for other big universities because while they are working, the colleges are working, we can still do this building, but they're very clean way to do it. Then we have done a hospital building in Bangalore, a 7-8 story hospital building. We have done a lot of villas and residential buildings which are steel framed for hundreds of clients all over the country, especially in environmentally sensitive areas like the hills, like the seaside, where otherwise standard materials and the weather condition and the labor doesn't allow. So we have done building all over India. We don't need, in fact, I think the kind of building we have done worldwide, they are not being done. We have done a lot of these buildings, but there is nothing that you can name. From a petrol pump, we have done thousands of petrol pumps, for example, in India. So everything is possible, and that is where our innovation is. That we have clients who come to us and say, "Look, I want to do this. Can you do it for us?" And then we innovate, or we go to them and say, "Look, you are making this hotel. Why don't you make it in steel?" And this is the value add or advantages you get.
Sure. You are way ahead of your competition, but can you talk to us about some competitors?
We have good competitors.
Okay.
Our primary competitors are two Middle Eastern companies.
Okay.
And there are some Indian companies, but they are not listed. They are privately held.
All right.
We are number 2 in size,
Sure.
and in many ways, in customer perception, we are number 1 in value.
All right. Wonderful.
That's the pride of
At least in our perception, we are number one.
Oh, of course, of course. Yes. And
No, these
publicly
are
also.
public. No, these are good companies. The Middle East was a home to pre-unit building for many years.
Sure.
It started there in the 70s.
Okay.
A lot of American companies came there when oil money came there, and Middle East wanted to build very fast. So they built everything in steel.
Right.
When you want to build fast and you want to build good quality, you have to go for steel. China is all steel.
Absolutely.
Empire State Building was made in steel in 1910. Imagine, you know. So this steel is the way to go forward. Pre-unit steel, what it takes away is that pain of working at site. Everything is made in the factory and taken to site, ready-made. You know, just like a Meccano set or something.
Wow.
That's the difference between pre-unit building and steel building.
Super.
Yeah. So I mean, Middle Eastern companies are very good. There are 2 of them are here. They are good.
Okay.
And yeah, and good competitors. They bring in. I think good competitors are very essential to any industry.
Absolutely.
You
It's
know.
completely off-site manufacturing.
Okay.
There's no manufacturing at site.
Oh,
Completely off-site.
Oh, wonderful. So, Mr. Arvind, what is your leadership mantra?
Well, my leadership mantra is to carry people with you.
Okay.
I'm very much of a people's person.
Okay.
I am a managing director of engineering company without being an engineer.
Wow.
So I feel that going when you know we have people with us for 30, 40 years working with us.
That's
Our current CEO joined us in 1994 as a junior salesman. So my mantra has always been that I think if we build a good team, we give them support,
Sure.
give them you know a chance to do whatever they want.
Okay.
If they raise their hand, we say okay, we are ready. And I think that is, you know, like they say, once you build a good team, the team builds the company.
Absolutely.
And you know, a team gets a client. Team. So when we have changed products, we've added all these. It's all credited to our team. And I think I have personally I push that a lot. That get people, and then doesn't matter. You know, you can make anybody into anything. I feel. Yeah, you can make it. There's no limitation. You know, if I could become what I have become, I think anybody can become what they want to.
The magic of a company has been our relationship. A good engineer and a good management guy.
That's a secret
That's how we've grown the company together. It's a 40-year relationship. We are better friends than when we started,
Amazing.
which is staying a lot.
Amazing. Your final words for the entrepreneurs, upcoming startups.
Live your dream, but don't strive for money, strive for perfection. When you start on a path, you must try and create the best you can. Money will come.
Yes. Follow your passion. And the
Yeah,
rest
you
will
must follow your passion and must create the best to your ability and the best in the world.
Sure.
I think India has all the talent to create better than the rest of the world,
Absolutely.
as we've seen that in many areas.
Right. Those are the golden words. On that note, we wind up. Thank you, sir. It's a
Thank you
pleasure
very
talking
much.
to
Thank you
Thank
for-
you so much.
Thank
Pleasure
you,
talking
sir.
to
Thank you. Thank you.